So without further ado, I will go ahead and welcome Miss Christie Bane to the stage. She's going to talk about orientation and mobility.
Do I need the mic or can you guys hear me?
I hear you.
Okay. I'd rather not, just because fewer things in my hands means fewer things I can mess up. So I pretty much always will mess up. I do have the clicker. Whether I use it, there's usually some technical something that goes wrong as when I talk. But okay, so we're going to talk about orientation and mobility, or O&M, and that is the skills that the student has to learn before they come here to train with the dog. And a large part of it is the white cane. So you guys don't need to become experts in this. You're puppy raisers, not O&M instructors, but I do feel that it's important that you know some of the benefits that a guide dog offers over a cane and why some people choose guide dog over cane. I'm not saying that the guide dog is better objectively than the cane, because that's a decision only the person can make. I feel it is, but not everybody does. So I'm not trying to say guide dog mobility is better. What I want to show you is the difference between guide dog mobility and cane travel. So I'm being either brave or foolish in bringing a puppy up on stage with me. This is usually a calm puppy, so I put her down and we'll get started. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm also going to try to keep this brief enough that we can get outside and get everything done, but if we don't, we can finish up later during breaks. Okay, what is O&M? Two things: orientation, knowing where you're going and how to get there. So if I said, where is your car right now from here, you say you leave the dining room, you make a left, you go out that door, you go out to the parking lot, and there's your car. Mobility is the physical skills required to get to where you're going safely. So if you can't see, that would be the actual techniques of cane use or guide dog travel. So that would be swinging your cane, telling your dog forward or left, etc. And it is non-negotiable requirement for being accepted here. So everybody who gets one of your dogs has already gone through O&M training and knows how to travel independently as a person with a visual impairment or a person who's blind. Okay, why do you guys need to know about this? Well, you don't really need it, but very basic knowledge is helpful when you're interacting with graduates. We will touch on sighted guide or human guide very briefly. How many people in here are aware of what sighted guide is or human guide? Raise your hand. Most, but not all. Okay. Well, we have a very short video showing the very basics of it. And honestly, it's not that complicated. It refers to somebody taking your, when they can't see, they take your arm and you guide them. Don't let them bump anything, don't let them fall anything. That sums up sighted guide. It's a little more complicated, but not much. And it is helpful to understand what leads up to working with the guide dog. Just so you know, people who come here and get one of your dogs that you put all this time into and we've put all this time into, they really need them and they have the skills to use them. So, these are the two basic skills we're going to talk about today. Sighted guide, sometimes called human guide, because technically somebody who is blind could guide another person who is blind. They could if they have a cane and know the area and everything else. So, the person who is blind holds the arm of another person. They'll hold it right above the elbow. And the guide is responsible for, like I said, not letting the person bump into anything, not letting them trip on anything. Those are also the same responsibilities as the guide dog has. So sighted guide can transition to dog guide or guide dog. They have the same job, allowing somebody to travel independently, or not independently if you're doing a sighted guide, but safely. So the white cane. The job of the cane is to encounter obstacles in the person's path. So the obstacles we did yesterday with the dog, we're going to do today with the cane if you want to, if the rain holds up. And you can do it blindfolded or not. I'll show you once we're out there how to do it. If we run out of time, like I said, we might, and I don't want you to miss anything else. So I'll just keep talking quickly. Only 3 minutes in, that's good. So the white cane will find the obstacle. The person then has to navigate around it. The white cane will also let somebody know about changes in elevation, like curves or steps, that they might otherwise trip on. And it indicates that the person has a visual impairment. So drivers hopefully know that if they see someone on a curb with a white cane, it means the person can't see and they should be a little careful if they're looking and if they're aware of that. Okay, so when we say someone has good O&M, these are the things we mean. Ability to problem solve calmly, that's a huge one because things will go wrong, both with the cane and with the dog. Like, one minute everything's fine, and the next minute there's a bush in your path, and you're like, how did this get there? I'm on the sidewalk. Something happened. You got distracted, turned around. Or if it's a guide dog, maybe your guide dog saw a squirrel and drifted up somebody's driveway, and now you're at somebody's front door. You don't know where you are. That happens, but if you travel independently without vision for long enough, then you will practice getting out of those situations and develop the ability to be calm about it. So that means that you're like, okay, I'm off course. What happened? Like, how do I get back? Experience traveling independently, that's very, very important because I still hear fairly often somebody in the public will say, my uncle's blind, he needs a guide dog, and he doesn't do anything, he just sits in his chair. They think that the dog itself will get the person out traveling independently, but it doesn't really work that way because when you go home with a new dog, you need to have routes that you can practice with the dog by yourself. That's where teamwork develops, is going out with the dog by yourself and figuring out what goes wrong when something does and fixing it. So if you have somebody else always on your shoulder saying, no, he's sniffing, no, he needs to go left, no, he's crossing the wrong street, that is not going to help with teamwork development. So that is a requirement too. We have to have, when we accept somebody, they have to prove that they have routes that they know at home, that they can take a new dog when they go home and work independently. They also have to have a desire to be more independent. So if somebody, is active but goes every single place with their wife or husband guiding them, then we have a very long wait list for a dog. I don't know what the average wait time is, but it's somewhere between 1 and 2 years for most people. And if we're going to put all the resources into these very valuable dogs, we do want them going somewhere where they will be used. So we want to have somebody who wants to get out and travel by themselves with their dog. Now that doesn't mean they have to walk 10 miles a day. Most people don't. Some people do, but most people don't. So as long as they have 1 or 2 places that they need to go to that they can get to by themselves on foot, not the bus dropping them off in front of the building and then walking inside the building. And the reason I want you to know this is because I want you to know that your dogs are not, when they're placed, they're not kind of glorified pets with a harness that get to go into places. They are dogs that are helping somebody be independent. O&M red flags, things that would cause us to not accept somebody for training, would be a lack of independent travel. That's a very common reason why we don't accept somebody. They either don't do any or they do very minimal. Lack of professional O&M training. Unless the person is old enough that they've been traveling independently before there was O&M, there are still a few of those, but not many. Then they need to have had training somewhere before being accepted for a guide dog. No meaningful destination. So that means if somebody says they just want to walk around the block 10 times and that's their exercise, that is not a meaningful destination for a dog. And most dogs will get bored with that, start sniffing, slow down, do other things. And guide dogs like to get somewhere. So they like to be looking for the bus stop or your classroom or the coffee shop or your friend's house, or they really enjoy working to something. And the lack of meaningful destinations can create work problems. Like I said, desire for a guide dog because I don't do anything now, or because family wants them. That's also a big one. Sometimes in applications, the wife or the mother will have filled out the application and tell us, like, my son needs a guide dog because your son needs a guide dog. He needs to tell us, I need a guide dog, not mom. So those are all reasons that would cause us not to accept someone for training. Okay, I'm going to show you just a very quick video on basic sighted guide. We could all practice sighted guide, but honestly, I feel like it's more interesting to do a little bit of white cane, so that's what we'll do outside. If you have never done sighted guide and you want to know how, then please talk to me and I'll get you during a break, because we'll have breaks and I'll be around at least some of the mornings, so we can practice if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But it really is pretty simple. And we're not going to watch this whole video, only the part that is relevant. Now, let's see if I'm going to screw this up. So far, whoops. Yes? Okay. How do I get this to play down? would know how to do this, but I know that these work because we tested them. Right? Right. In the meantime, everyone admire my dog's settle. Oh, sorry. That was a handler error. If I hadn't looked down and said the Y word. They're fixing it.
Sighted guide techniques. When approaching a person with vision loss, you should initiate the greeting by identifying yourself. If you already know the person, you can simply say, "Hi Mike, it's Lucy." Before offering your assistance, you should always ask if it's needed. If so, gently touch the back of the person's hand with your own as an indication for them to take your arm. If no assistance is needed, you can simply wish the person a good day and move on. The person you're guiding will take your arm just above the elbow, placing their fingers on the inside of your arm and their thumb on the outside. This is a very natural way for the two of you to be connected. Never take the person's arm or hand, or try to push or pull them along. Not only is this considered rude, but it's less effective in trying to guide someone. The person you're guiding may have a preference as to whether they hold your left arm or right arm. Either way is fine. Usually they'll take the lead and indicate which side they prefer. The person's grip will typically be firm enough to maintain contact with you, but relaxed enough to be comfortable. Hold your arm naturally in a straight, relaxed position at your side. The person you're guiding should be at your side about half a step behind you. Position yourself so that the shoulder of your guiding arm is aligned directly in front of the shoulder of their grip arm. Their arm will be relaxed, with their elbow bent at about 90 degrees and held close to their body. Take care not to stand too close, as this can be uncomfortable and may make a trip over each other. Also, do not be too far apart, as this takes up too much space and is ineffective. There may be times when you'll guide someone who needs slightly more support. In this case, you'll want to stay close together. The other person may also hold your arm more tightly, or even place their arm through yours, resting their hand on top.
Okay, so that's the basic sighted guide. The next video is just 1 minute of assisting someone with a guide dog, which is something that you guys might do. And the video after that is really cool. It's a little longer, but totally worth it. Okay, so we'll watch like the first minute of this, and I'll do this. Okay, I'll go ahead.
The Vision Loss Rehabilitation Canada logo.
Additional guiding tips. Assisting someone with a guide dog. As always, first ask the person if they would like some assistance. The person may choose to take your arm with the dog accompanying both of you, instruct their dog to follow you as you walk ahead, or they may simply ask for directions and proceed on their own. If they do require your assistance, offer your arm by making contact with the back of their hand. The person may have a preference for a particular arm, depending on how they normally position their dog. If they want to instruct their dog to follow you, walk a few paces ahead and provide verbal directions as you go. For example, we're going to be taking the next left. The person you're guiding will provide any instructions to their dog. If all that's required are directions, make sure they're as clear as possible. Use specifics, such as, turn right at the next corner, instead of vague statements, like stop over there. You should never pet a guide dog, unless its owner gives you explicit permission.
Okay.
Assisting someone who is deafblind.
Alright, so for the next video, it was actually made by another guide dog school, Leader Dogs, and it shows a comparison of one of their graduates who's a longtime guide dog handler. It shows him walking a route with a cane, and then it shows him walking the same route with his guide dog. And it is long, it's 11 minutes, so I thought it's a little long, but it's so relevant to what we do, and like, there's no way I can show you any better than this video does what the difference between guide dog and cane is. Is there any way we could get that full screen? It's worth the extra second to figure it out if we can, because I love this video. I've watched it 1,000 times, I've shared it 1,000 times. That's good enough. Okay, I'll just get a chair and let this play.
I'm going to be making a trip around the block here, and I'm next in the building. Somebody has just started a lawnmower, which takes part of my audio cue away, and still headed down the right direction. I just got off track a little bit and back on, rolling side to side. And as you can hear, the lawnmower is going, which has taken part of the audio cue away from what I'm trying to concentrate on and listen to any of the traffic on the streets where I'm near. So I would not want to walk out onto the street and not know that I've got traffic coming. Continue to sweep, and I know the street should be coming up soon. I can hear the traffic and should be able to feel the curb coming up here. Kind of in an open area. A little concerned about where the actual curb is at. I can hear the traffic. That's got to be 3rd Street, so I need to go to the right and reorient myself to where the sidewalk's at to continue forward here. There's some bushes and I need to back up. Looking for the sidewalk, but it feels like there's a lot of bushes covering the edge of the sidewalk. Okay, that's got to be a sidewalk, but I'm running up against the bushes. They're overgrown past the edge of the walk there.
Hey Jim, it's Rochelle. How are you doing?
Good, Rochelle. How are you?
It's been a while.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I will move here, so I will talk to you later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I kind of lost track of my position and where I'm at. Okay. Something either off the sidewalk or something's on the sidewalk. And I know I'm on the sidewalk, so there's an obstacle here. I'm just going to kind of feel around the obstacle. I'm going to make a decision to go around on the left side because it appears to me like that grass. It's a fairly small object, so yeah, I've gone past it. This sidewalk's not quite as nice shape as the last one. Whoa. That may have been a little bit close. I'm not sure. Just had a truck come right in front of me. Probably didn't see me passing on the sidewalk. That's a little frightening when they get that close. I don't feel the edge. This feels like maybe a parking lot drive. I'll continue forward here. Feel the edge. I've got some type of obstacle. Feels like a cone. And I need to maneuver around that. It might be yeah, it looks like there's some work there being done. Whoa! Now a dog would not let me do that. Okay. Let's see. It feels like there's some planks up, and I found another piece of concrete. I'm just going to go forward here. Let's see if this construction material still on the sidewalk. And I think I passed it, so I'm going to go forward. Okay, feel the right side of the grass ends. I am at the crosswalk. I've traveled this route before, and I need to get right up to the edge. Because I know it goes across at an angle. Okay. I've got to head back this way because there's got to be a crosswalk other than right at the street there. I'm going to try and find that piece of concrete. Yep, there's a sidewalk right there. And I've got the edge. If I go forward, I should go straight across. Traffic stopped on my parallel street, which means the traffic right in front of me has the right of way. And I'm going to wait. And they've started to move. Put my cane out and go forward. There were a few epiphanies walking with the cane today. Certainly, the main epiphanies are when you come across something that's unexpected. The stress level goes up when you're certainly in areas that you're not familiar with. Great feeling of accomplishment when you wanted to go from point A to point B and you got there. Even if there were obstacles and challenges along the way, there's I think a real sense of pride in being able to do that. All right, Maddie, forward. Good girl. Good girl. Let's see, we're gonna keep going down the sidewalk. We're just going over that bump. Back down, the street's coming up pretty close. Here to cross the crosswalk. Just picking up the curve here pretty quick. Yes, she did. What a good girl. Good girl, man. Right? Find the sidewalk. Good girl. Good girl, Maddie. Now we got some bushes on there. Now, good one. Forward. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, that's beautiful. Hey, Rochelle, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Doing well.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's beautiful out, isn't it?
Hey, Maddie, how you doing, girl?
Take care. Maddie, forward. Good girl. Yeah, you're good. Good girl, Madison. Straight. Taking me around. Good girl. Something, maybe an obstacle there. Hey, forward. Very good. Good girl. Good girl. That's very good. Straight. And we still picking up the parallel traffic. And I can hear that traffic coming to a stop up here. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, you saw that car coming. I didn't see it coming. Good job. Good job. Sometimes drivers don't always see us. Heading forward. Another life saved. Good girl, forward. I'm her. Good girl. Forward. And I'm her. Good girl, up. Find the girl. Good girl. And we're coming up. Should be coming up on the cross street here. Heading for the curve. Let's see, go around the curve. Okay, I've got it. Great, man. Good girl, good girl. Right. On the sidewalk. And left. On the sidewalk. On the curb. Good girl, good girl. We got the right the curb, hang forward. Listen for the parallel traffic. So it's clear. Thinking about the distance we've traveled, we're doing a good job, Daddy. Good job, Trixie. Good girl. Good girl.
Christie is a side note, Jim, with his current guide dog, unfortunately was set upon by a big service dog at the hospital. Oh, no. Yes. That's terrible.
It is terrible. It is terrible.
Well,
He'll survive.
he's pretty tough. So that showed very well the difference between cane travel and guide dog travel. Now, that guy is a good cane traveler. It's not like he was bad, and he was pretty good at problem solving. He's a little out of practice with the cane because he's used to a dog. But with the cane, you do have to put a lot more thought into those decisions, like how do I get around something that I don't know what it is. When you have a dog, they just kind of do it, and you follow them. Kind of like when you worked the dogs yesterday, they went around those obstacles, and you just kind of felt like zip, 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 zip. That was easy. Today, for those of you who do decide to do it with a cane, then you'll see the difference. So, again, I don't want to say guide dog travel is better, although I feel it is. There's lots of reasons why people don't want a guide dog. They may not like dogs. They may not want the care of the dog. They may not want wet feet and dirty hair in the car. Their partner may not want one. Lots of reasons why you might not want a dog, but for those people who do, that efficiency of travel is a very big reason. Okay, what we're going to do outside is, for those of you who want to, you can get your blindfolds from yesterday. If you don't have your blindfold from yesterday, we can get you a new one. We're going to do the cane. We're going to have you use the cane to go around the obstacles, and just very briefly, what you're going to do is when you get to an obstacle, and this is like a crash course in cane use. So this is not how I would train your students in O&M. We would do a lot of stuff with them. But basically, when you get to an obstacle with a cane heel, do it like with my guide dog. You move the cane like this in front of you, and when you hit an obstacle, then you have to go around it. So you have to figure out which side is safer. You can do either one. Then go around this way, and then come back to that. So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to. If you'd rather socialize during this time, that's fine too. Inside or outside doesn't matter. But if you want to go outside, then grab your blindfold and come outside. And you know you're on the side. If you touch grass on either side, that tells you where the edge is. If you hit an obstacle, then you have to go around it. Okay, so you use your cane. This is a very short explanation of how a cane works. Okay, Joyce, you have 5 obstacles. Go ahead. Kelly, are you on deck?
Hey.
Yes. Come take this cane. Wow, Joyce is not too bad. She's practicing.
Well, guys, it helps because
Well,
we did this with the dogs yesterday, but the dogs just did the ground.
yeah. Wow, Joyce, that's not too bad. Joyce is nice and assertive with her cane, and you all should be the same. Very good, you're finished. Oh, that was good. You want to keep your feet on the sidewalk. Yeah. Turn more towards you. This is very normal. Okay. So if you want that on the grass on your right side, you have to turn your body so that. Here, take my arm. I'm gonna turn. On this one, okay, I'm down.
I have heard
Stay
that.
where you are,
And I was
swing your
like,
cane wide to the left.
where is this? Old school.
Feel the grass over there on the left. That, ideally, be like So, in a perfect way, stop for 1 second. In a perfect world, if this sidewalk had no obstacles, ideally you want to touch grass on the right and grass on the left every time you move your cane. So it'd be grass, 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 grass. So if you're not touching grass on the left, you probably need to move further to the left. You have a right tendency. See that grass on your left? That is going to be your friend.
I'm overconfident with my marching band history.
Don't get too far away.
Yeah, I feel like I could do it.
So stand up.
I definitely would do it. We're going to blindfold you exactly wrong. You have to figure out where you're at and get my
Swing left and hit your own. Okay. That space between the obstacle and the grass, that's where you want.
because then you just march your way down. Figure out where you're at. And then you march your way back to the top.
Whenever you need to move either way, it's always to your left. Some of that.
And on the drive down here.
I have not given up.
Okay. I